Hi, I'm doing this video just to explain myself in terms of what I have stated in videos that I've watched on YouTube in regards to the issue, or I guess the phenomena of aliens, but specifically what some people refer to as the very tall white, some people call them the doctors, right? I was calling them that as well because what they did to me that one time, which is the only time that I was actually awake, seeing like normal awareness, was when I was implanted in my foot with a cylindrical device which I saw them guide into my foot. Okay, and these white, very skinny aliens, and I'll actually, I don't want to do this, but I'll do it. I mean, I think it's now a time that I'm not going to hold anything back, okay? Because I have a very visual mind. I have been a visual artist all of my life, literally. I didn't choose to be, I am, always one. I continue to be a visual artist in many other forms, 3D, 2D, animation, concept, all of these things, right? As well as a musician. I also went through a near-death experience when I drowned at the age of 7, at the same place where I believe I saw, I do remember, with my brother and my cousin, my uncle, we saw our first massive UFO sighting, which wasn't a sighting, it was an spectacle, for lack of a better word. It was literally showing off. They were showing off to us at this place. Okay, so my background is Chilean. I come from Chile, from Santiago, from the southern side of the city. So anyways, Chile is known, as well as Santiago and the whole area of the metropolitan area, is known that collectively as one of the biggest UFO hotspots in the whole world, as well as Mexico. But having said that, all of South America is like that. It is not a unusual phenomena. It goes on there weekly, if not daily. Right. Having said that, I'll continue. And my understanding of what people refer to as I call them Orion entities, or some people may choose to call them Rigelians because of the star Sirius and the star Rigel in the Sirius constellation, I believe. Some of you may actually, if you are at all interested in the UFO alien phenomena, you guys may be attracted to the pyramids. And this is the thing, I always was, and I always knew intuitively that the pyramids were the 3 stars of the Orion constellation. Yeah, the Orion constellation is the one that Robert Bubal declared to be basically a mirror to the to Giza and the pyramids, the more well-known pyramids. And as Graham Hancock said, Bubal is a genius for putting all this information together concisely and accurately, and I believe truthfully as well. So the thing is, my experience has been with the phenomena has been from day one by me saying day one, I mean from the beginning of awareness, my awareness in this world. You understand? So I'll go back a little bit and I'll tell you guys about my near-death experience. Okay, my near-death experience started on a summer holiday on the outskirts of Santiago, which by then, during those years, in the early 70s, mid 70s, when I was 7, was not as affluent or urbanized as it may be now. So there was a lot of rivers that were not tapped and channeled elsewhere. So one of these rivers was called El Manzano, which in Spanish means the little apple orchard. Beautiful area. Rivers, small rivers, little tributaries from the mountains from way up. The water was unbelievably beautiful. In fact, it's actually drinkable water because it's from mountains. Back in those days, water was, wasn't toxic. Okay. Anyways, I digress. So I basically drowned in this little river, and I saw my life going backwards in front of me, which was weird because I could still understand it. So extremely fast, every single detail, every single nuance was recorded in this image that I was being shown by this white entity. White, I mean non-corporeal presence that was showing me my life. This was after I had given up trying to breathe because my lungs were filled with water and pretty much my chest was tight and I couldn't move it underwater. So I gave up, and then this light appears above me and it tells me, remember, in a disembodied voice, or let's say call it telepathic voice, says to me, remember. And then I start seeing my entire life all the way. And I was only 6 years old here. I'm sorry, 7. Anyways, so, and I get to one point which is very interesting in my life, this very short-lived life, that it was memories which I could still remember in my awareness, but I had pushed back because they involved a lot of fear, and it's one of those memories that people with trauma don't want to remember. Anything that you don't want to remember, you push it back. You try to it's there because you have physical painful connection with them. Anyways, and the physical and painful connection that I had with these memories of these orbs or spheres that would come into my room when I was like, I say 2 years old, was of these little spheres that would come through the walls, would land down, and then automatically they would turn into these, I can only describe them as little monks. Other people have also. Many years later, I started calling them trauco, which is the colloquial way of calling entities that are hooded like that in the folk stories in Chile, which are very old, and which also happen to abduct people and make girls pregnant, which is interesting because it all seems to interlink. Okay, so these hooded little beings that seem to have, I had such a difficulty focusing on their faces. It was always like this fussy around their facial features. Anyways, I would be in complete panic because I knew that they were coming, and they would put, as soon as they were standing next to my bed, they would put their hands on my stomach and I would feel an intense cold, extreme cold pressure on my intestines and in my stomach. And this went on and on and on, over and over. I was just sick of it. Sick of it. I would tell my mum about all this, and she would never wake up at night. I even brought my German Shepherd back in the day when I was, I would say 4 years old, brought it into the room. But by the time these things had come, my dog had yelped and run out of the room. He was scared as well. So that was not good. Anyways, so as I was saying, I was asked to talk about the six-fingered, white, very tall aliens who are accompanied not only by the hooded little beings, which I just explained what they do, they're like nurses, but also they are accompanied by the greys, or some type of grey. As you all know, if you are up to date with everything that is said online, there are different kinds of greys. But I'm telling you, because I have an extremely accurate visual memory, and I can draw exactly what I see and what I remember. So when I draw these things, I'm drawing them accurately. Okay, let me just repeat that. I draw them accurately. So this is one of the ways that I can actually sift through all the, let's just call it bullshit online, because I can see that someone's actually seeing them, because I remember these things clearly, especially the tall white things. During that time in my life, I was doing a lot of meditation, and I believe that the reason why I was able to concentrate and maintain my awake awareness was because I was doing a lot of meditation, and I had strong abilities and I would say skills related to the exercise and the meditative mind that I had acquired. Mind you, I started learning meditation when I was 12 years old. So in the mid-90s is when I had this particular experience where I woke up in the middle of the night and there was suddenly a presence that was coming through the wall, and this presence was a grey that was coming out of the wall, just its head popping out. And what really was the most amazing or awe-inspiring, or it's just shock, call it what you will, is that the head is so massive, and as it turns, there are no facial features moving, almost, you know, like a plastic thing, but you could see the wraparound eyes as it turned, and you could see the spherical nature of its massive eyes, which to me reminded me of what a cat looks like when it's scanning an area for when it's hunting. So that's what it reminded me of, this grey that moved out of the wall as it looked around. Anyways, that was the first night, and I was put out like a candle immediately after I saw this thing. The next night, woke up with feeling the same thing, except immediately there was these two very, very tall, I would say nearly 7 foot tall, reaching the ceiling, white, like paper, white beings with very thin, almost like, I would say the clothes that they're wearing were like gowns, but very, very thin, maybe even silvery thin with very fine thread, very, very, very fine. Also white. And what was very shocking was how they would move and their facial features were more human-like rather as opposed to the greys, which are quite, the greys are quite ugly to anyone that beholds them. But the white, tall aliens, I won't go out and say, oh, they look human. No, they don't. They have bigger eyes than us, not as big as the greys, but just a little bit bigger. They're still black. And we can, extrapolate, conjecture about their eyes. It doesn't matter. What you see is what you see, okay? So they have black eyes as well, bigger than ours, not as big as the grey. They're completely white. They have, for some reason, very geometrical shapes in terms of their facial features. Very geometrical. If you have ever seen the movie Maleficent, where Angelina Jolie plays the character of, plays a fairy tale character, right? She has very pronounced cheekbones, right? That's how the cheekbones of these white aliens, call them Orion entities, Sirius entities, whatever, from the Orion constellation, right? That's what the cheekbones look like, and they have almost direct lines down here with an almost square, literally, you know how my face is built round? There's this very squarish, I'm talking about almost like designed, yeah? Almost designed. I'm not talking about logically designed, I'm talking about someone like designed their faces almost geometrically. Very, very strange. Yeah, and they have 6 fingers and about that long. Okay, and yeah, and anyways, as I'm looking at them do this, I am saying to myself, I am not going to allow you to make me forget. I am burning you into my memory, and I'm repeating this, and I can feel my body like freezing up, freezing in terms of like becoming very stiff. It's like they don't want me to move. I don't know whether that's them or it's a physiological reaction to them or a pre-programmed suggestion that they have put there throughout my lifetime. I don't know, right? But most people feel that they are unable to move in some way or another. I've heard of very, adventurous ways of dealing with the aliens, and some people have been able to punch them, I believe that those are all lies. They're just fantasies that people concoct to attract attention to themselves. But anyways, the thing is that what was very striking about the very tall white beings, and let's call them now the Orion beings for clarity's sake, they had extremely skin and long arms. And I'm not talking about like skinny human. I'm talking about almost abnormal, impossible thin, like a broomstick thin, yeah? Almost like there's just bone and skin. How they moved? Don't ask me. I have no idea. Wouldn't know. And this to me says immediately that these beings have, for lack of a better word, totally non-terrestrial, otherworldly, from another freaking planet biology that is not like humans. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Anyways, they still look bipedal. They still have a head, eyes like us. So there are resemblances to human beings, right? To our biological morphology, which is very interesting as well, because maybe somehow we're related. I don't know. But here's the thing. During those years before I had that experience, I didn't know anything about these tall white aliens. nothing. But I used to have a lot of, and this was in the mid 90s, right? From 1994 to 1997. And I was practicing meditation every day, solid, right? So I had many unusual experiences, from the paranormal to the, to call it what you will. Anyways, to the telekinetic, to the telepathic, all those kinds of things. These are all part and parcel of your, I would say, side effects of extreme meditation. They're like powers. And mind you, in old meditation books or related subjects, they warn practitioners that not to get too obsessed about these powers, right? You can project your mind onto other people. You can see people's ideas and images in their heads. Literally, they are projecting these images in their own energetic field, and because your eyes are now connecting with other areas of your perception in your brain, you can now see their thoughts manifest as holograms in front of them. These are side effects and skills attained through meditation. So meditation is an extremely powerful tool for human beings. It's where our superpowers is there in that. All right. So anyways, so I guess, you know, this world that we live in, I guess it's designed and, you know, engineered for you to pay attention somewhere else other than here, which is really the most important thing about your world. It's here, because this is where your world really literally happens, inside here. Anyways, so I'm digressing a little bit, but yeah, this is the reason why. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's get back to what I was saying about those experiences that I was having in them before I had I call my implantation with the device that sometimes I would say prickles or stings me when I see something or I remember someone. They're like warnings, or I still don't know exactly what it means, but I've got some other ideas as to and experiences regarding, because I've been focusing my own perception into it. And Ridley Strieber, the writer of, and I guess the author of Communion, also speaks nowadays about his own implants. Okay, now I had an astral projection, a spontaneous one, during those years when I was meditating solidly, and I saw myself. I was out of the bed, and I was looking at myself in the bed. So I was having this like to and fro in my mind as to, well, what's going on? Why is my body over there and I'm here? Why is my body? When I see my brother, my older brother, come across the corridor, and I was sleeping in the living room at the time, because I was just staying over when I was studying college, and he comes through the corridor from his room, from his dorm, from his bedroom to the living room, sits in the sofa and cranks the TV on and starts watching you know, a show. And I'm getting really angry at him, because he knows that I'm in bed sleeping, yet he's doing this. So I'm in my mind, it's like he's got no respect. So I'm swinging my arms at him, saying, "Hey, you! What do you think you're doing? You know, can't you see that I'm asleep?" And then my mind clicked again. Hang on, I'm not asleep. I'm here trying to get him to like stop what he's doing and then go back to bed. And then I see my hands, you know, like move in front of him, because I'm trying to like get his attention. And then I see my hands, and my hands were not these hands, these mittens that I've got. They were very long fingers, white skin fingers, and 6 fingers. All right. I had some people, I guess one single individual who claims to know what's going on, tell me that that's a projection that the aliens are using. They're viewing the world through me, but I don't believe that. I think that's a bit of an exaggeration. Anyways, I was like shocked at seeing my hands being so white like paper and having a 6th finger like some people in Brazil. Anyways, there was a small kind of like mirror like picture on the wall right next to the TV, and I caught my reflection there, and guess what I saw? I saw the same thing as, I would say, very similar thing as to what I'm describing as the white tall aliens. This time it was me. Exactly the same face, except that I was wearing a golden helmet spiked with very long golden rays. Rays as in like metallic gold, like a golden helmet with long thin spikes, all made of gold. And I had fake gold hair that was more like flat, strips. And I was wearing this white gown. My eyes were very black, same. The face was very geometrical, long face, geometrical, nose. Also there's a big difference between the little greys who have no nose and these other beings that do have noses. And again, very thin, geometrical. Yeah, so I went, believe it or not, I went to the toilet to look more clearly at the mirror, and I don't know how the hell I was actually able to see my image reflected in the mirror while astral projecting. So this is how I know that I look like that. But this was sort of an event that happened with me that I put aside, and by the time when the time came that I had the other experience some months later or a year later, I also at that period I didn't know that this was somehow an alien thing. Yeah, until I saw that the greys were connected with them. And during this time I was actually drawing a lot of pictures of greys, holding the earth back in '96. I've got some images that I may show you. I put it there next to this image when I edit this video. So you'll see. I've made a rough animation some years back to show people my experience. Anyway, so this was Christian, me, and that was my my experiences. There's more detail to them. I still experience very unusual phenomena, and my entire life seems to be connected with UFO sightings and UFO people who are, people who are interested in the subject, whether because I'm into it or people talk to me about it and they just happen to be interested in it, or they have their own experiences. Anyways, that's it for me. And if you want to ask me about anything, just put a comment down there. And yeah, I don't want to sound commercial, but yeah, if I guess let me know what you think about all this.